in just a minute. Set it up.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just computer. Yes. I just need to share the screen first. Oh, so.
Yeah.
What, I need your help with this. Okay, so I'm gonna share the entire screen. So do I start with this? Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's see what happens when this here. And we'll show that. And I think we're just showing, so it's showing that.
Yeah. Really quick, everybody needs to get a bracelet before they leave. So it can be seen. And get one for your neighbor who has a trick or treater maybe. Trick or treats next week, so make sure every trick or treater is seen. Absolutely. We're safe. You have to have bike lanes? I mean, these fancy fanny packs. No excuses.
It's kind of weird. Looking at myself, it's like infinite number. Okay, well then this might do it. Let's see if I can share. Oh, perfect. Now. Right. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. This is our final in-person and virtual or in-person hybrid public meeting for the Broward Safety Action Plan. We are here to talk about some of the crash data that we've compiled for Stirling Road. The limits of this project is from I-95 to US 1. This Broward Safety Action Plan would not be possible without our partners at Broward County. Would someone, does Broward County want to state anything?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Ross Nawad. I'm the Director of Credit Engineering in Broward County. It's been a great partnership with the MPO and the project team. We're taking a look at these 11 corridors with a closer eye now to develop a concept plan for each one of them. So, and we appreciate everyone's input tonight.
Thank you, Rossam. We are also for these corridors, we are also working with our jurisdictional partners at the Florida Department of Transportation, otherwise known as FDOT, and then also with the city of Dania Beach. Would someone from FDOT want to say anything? Sure.
Hello everyone, sorry about that. As you see, I'm looking forward for the meeting process and the collaboration with our partner.
Thank you. Thank you, Claudia from FDOT. Does anyone from the city would like to say anything?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Roside. I'm the Deputy Public Service Director and City Engineer, and I'm excited to work with you.
All right. And with that, we are going to start the presentation. The selected consultant, WSP, is going to lead this presentation tonight. If for anyone who is virtual, please use the Q&A function, and someone on our project team will be able to answer your question. For whoever is online, after we do the presentation here, Selena Simon and James Cromar, who's the project manager for the Broward Safety Action Plan from the Broward MPO side, he will also be available to answer any questions. And with that, Christine Fanchi.
Thank you, Basil. Can I use it? See me? There we go. Awesome. Can you see everything? Okay. Thanks for being here tonight. Excited to be in Dania Beach. Gorgeous night. So we're gonna start off with, thank you. We're gonna start off with a very important message, is that with this plan, we are no longer saying the word accident. We are only saying the word crash, and I'll tell you why. So when a plane is flying, it doesn't just fall out of the sky, so we call it a plane crash, right? And if something happens on a plane, we expect, why did that happen? You know, like with that lady who, you know, in the window or something, right? A couple years ago, we were like, no, nobody can fly until we figure out what happened, right? Because they want 0 fatalities, right? So with cars, there's reasons why they crash. You know, maybe person was intoxicated, maybe they were speeding, maybe, you know, there's all these different scenarios. So there's a reason. So if we use the word crash, we're asking people to take ownership and find solutions, right? Just like in a plane crash. So there's no accidents, only crashes. So if we could just all say that, it'll help everyone take ownership of their actions. All right, good news. As Father mentioned, we won $5 million for a Safe Streets and Roads for All grant. Partnership between the Broward MPO and Broward County came together to go after this grant. One of the largest in the whole nation, so that we can make our streets safer in Broward. So really great news. And let's talk about the national story first. So as you can see, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has logged our fatalities over the last 47 years, shown here. 1975, we had 44,525 fatalities nationally, and in 2022, 42,514. So not much decrease over those 47 years, unfortunately. So there's a lot of work to do. So this is why we're here. Our goal is to prevent traffic fatalities and serious injuries throughout Broward County. And as you know, these traffic markers on our state roads denote where people have lost their life. So our hope is that we don't have any more of these. That's our goal, right? 0 fatalities. So pop quiz, really quick. Is Broward County's fatal crash rate more similar to France or to Egypt? France, raise hands. Okay, I got one. Egypt, hands. Oh, I got a lot. Oh, wow, those are smart. Okay, so it's not France. Broward County, per 100,000 population, has a fatality rate of 11.8. Twice France. France is 5. So, and you can see on this list, these are countries that we kind of associate our wealth with, right? Canada, Australia, Japan, Germany, Sweden, Norway. The answer is Egypt. Unfortunately, we're closer to that. You can see Broward County right there at 11.8 and Egypt is 12.8. So right in that realm and kind of on the same list as Bangladesh, Turkey, Mexico, Russia, Philippines, Romania. So when we think about kind of how we're investing, this kind of puts it in perspective, right? So let's talk about Broward County. We've done a lot of analysis and these facts are from the years 2018 through 2022. So 5 full years of data. It excludes the freeways. So no 95, 75 turnpike. But in those 5 years, the big number was 250,729 crashes in 5 years. Out of that, we had 4,832 people killed or seriously injured. So about 50,000 crashes a year and about 1,000 people killed or seriously every year in Broward County. And every week, which is staggering, 4 people are killed and another 18 are seriously injured every week in Broward County. So this is obviously very serious. We have a lot of work to do, but I'm here to tell you we have the power to change this. We're going to start by saying crash next, right? Oh, a serious injury is a life-changing injury, right? So let's say I get in a crash and I break my hip and I can't walk the same again. So it's life-changing. Lose an arm, paralyzed, you know, life-changing. So something that is obviously altering. On the bottom here, we have some other facts. So 1,014 loved ones lost their lives. So we had, less than that in crashes, but each crash might have included multiple people in the vehicle, or does that make sense? So a total of 1,014 over the 5 years, and then the 4,702 is people that were seriously injured in those 5 years. So those numbers are a little bit higher than the crash number added together. And then the last one is 77% of the killed and serious injury crashes happen on only 6% of our roads. Oh, sorry.
You're fine, you're fine.
So that's kind of the good news. So out of our whole network, we need to really invest on a small percentage of streets to get a huge change and shift to protect those lives. So hopefully that's a silver lining. We can do this. So another part of the story is really understanding that killed and serious injury crashes are only 2% of the crashes. So we're only trying to solve the 2%. So that 2% is what we want to get to zero, but they equate to 61% of the economic impact on our communities, right? And that includes like the cost of fire and PD and all the traffic that backs up because we had to close the road, and their time and their energy. And then if I perish, my family lost an income, and so all of those things add to the cost of these crashes, which is monumental, because that could be used for other livability things that improve our life instead of having to deal with crashes. The other number here I'll just quickly go through is 76% of our crashes are no injury. The difference between the 76 and the 2 are possible injury, so low injury. But 76% of the crashes only equate to 6% of the economic. So we're trying to shift to really focus on the 2% because they're really impactful to our community. So with this program, we are using a new approach to safety. It's called the Safe System approach. This is done by the Federal Highway Administration. And you can see we've got the 5 buckets of safe road users, safe vehicles, safe speeds, safe roads, and post-crash care. But I'll just highlight around the edge are the principles. Really quick, I'll just read them off. Death and serious injury is unacceptable as a principle. Humans make mistakes, humans are vulnerable. Safety is proactive, responsibility is shared, and redundancy is crucial. So really kind of bringing all those things together to create the 5 elements in the middle. And I really take to heart the responsibility is shared, just that as an engineer who designs streets, we have a new way to design streets that really puts, safety first and really gives us that opportunity to think about all these buckets. Everyone that is part of our transportation system, whether that's you walking or somebody driving a bus or operating a signal or designing a road, we're all responsible for the shared outcomes of that system. So really taking responsibility, as me as a pedestrian, as me as a planner, as an engineer. So like really sharing that responsibility to really get to zero together. So what have we done? We've created a high injury network using all that safety analysis that I mentioned across the county. From that, we created a high risk network to understand where we could be proactively improving streets. They may not have historical crashes, but might have crashes based on our historical knowledge. Then we overlaid that with our equity analysis. If you haven't visited our boards, the 2 boards on the left with the pink and purple are equity analysis. So I'd really love to implore you to visit those boards. So we overlaid kind of all of that information to come up with our project prioritization, and then selected our top 11, which is why we're here for Stirling Road. So this is a map that we utilize. So the countywide, obviously, the red lines are our high injury network, and then the purple lines are high risk network, and then the purple overlay is the equity. So you can see there's a lot of overlay within, and you can see that we have kind of issues countywide, but good news, 6% of roads, 77% of KSI is eliminated. So it might look like a lot, but we have a lot of local streets, so it works out. So we have 11 corridors, as I mentioned, so I'll just quickly review where they are. Can you see? Sorry. We've got the red streets are our city streets. So I'll start at the north, Southwest 10th Streets in Deerfield. We've got Royal Palm Boulevard and Rock Island Road in Margate, Sistrunk Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, and then Taft Street in Hollywood. Our county roads are in green. 31st Avenue, 19th Street, both in Lauderhill, Oakland Park, I'm gonna forget Tamarack, Lauderdale Lakes, and what did I forget? Fort Lauderdale, Lauderhill. And then 19th Street is Lauderhill and Lauderdale Lakes. And then West Broward Boulevard is in the city of Plantation. Our state roads, US 441, Plantation, Fort Lauderdale, Lauderhill, I think. And then East Broward Boulevard's in Fort Lauderdale, and then Stirling Road, of course, is where we're here tonight, and Dana Beach. So these are our 11 corridors. And then tonight we're here to talk about Stirling Road. So just wanted to brief you on the overview. We did an analysis of the corridor with all the existing crash data from 2019 to 2023. And as you can see here, we're having about 149 crashes per year, every year in this like just in this small segment from 95 to US 1. We've had one fatal, it was motor vehicle, and then 14 more seriously injured. And you can see there's a mix there of ped, bike, motorcycle, and big vehicles. So those are the 15 that we want to get to zero, those 15. You can see on the right, we have a posted speed of 45 miles an hour. The people, we did a measurement in the field. And on the weekday, people are going 85th percentile 43 miles an hour. And then on the weekend, they're going 44 miles an hour. So they're going pretty fast, but like it's interesting here because it's not as much as the posted speed. So a little bit better behavior here than we've seen otherwise. As far as the time and factors, we've got 75% happening during the day versus night. At the intersection, we've got only 33%, so 67% of our crashes are happening between intersections. And then 88% on dry roads. 12% were noted as distracted driving, 2%, only 2% alcohol and drugs, and then 4% speeding and aggressive driving. So it's really kind of helping to tell the story of like what's happening here. You know, a lot of times people like to say, oh, well, everyone was speeding, right? Well, we've only got a 4%. So kind of trying to myth bust like those things and really understand what's happening. So what's next? Tonight we're here because we need your input. We need to hear from you about Stirling Road. So what we do is we'd like to ask this question. What roadway safety concerns are you having on this corridor? And there's 3 ways you can tell us. We can take your verbal comments either in person or online. We have somebody taking your comments. And then we have comment cards. Where are they? Right here, sorry, on this desk. So if you want to take a comment card and fill it out. And then the 3rd way is we have an online map where you can go in and put a dot on the map, and you can put 50 dots. I would love that if you did. And tell us what issues you're having. And that's on our website at safestreets4broward.org. And this is the QR code for you. So in the middle, after tonight, if you leave and you're like, oh, I forgot to tell Christine about, you can go online and you can tell us. So we want to hear from you. So what's next? We're going to take all the input from our meeting tonight, and we're going to create a concept. And the intent is to come back in the spring, early 25, and hopefully Dana Beach will have us back in this room, so it could be convenient. And we'll present a concept and take further comment on that concept and tweak it to make sure it's meeting the needs. And then the intent is to finalize that and then adopt the plan next summer. And then how can you stay involved? There's 3 ways. Like I said, the website we have, safestreets4broward.org. On the website, there's 3 ways that you can get involved. You can, number 1, take the safety pledge. We would love for you to do that. It's really quick. Number 2, you can do the map that I mentioned where you can point out issues that you're having. And number 3, we have a dedication page for anyone who has lost their life to traffic in Broward. We have a intent to dedicate the entire plan to those folks. So I would really appreciate it if you could extend that opportunity to anybody that you know, so we can dedicate this work to them. The second way is social media, where Broward MPO has Speak Up Broward on Facebook, Broward MPO on LinkedIn, and then Speak Up Broward on Instagram. Thank you. Oh, I think that's my phone. I'm sorry. Oh, it's not. I think that's my phone. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. And then the third way is you can contact us on email at ss4a@browardmpo.org. So with that, we are excited to hear from you. In person, we're gonna huddle around the roll plot. Jose, wave your hand. Jose is gonna take your comments. Jose is our lead designer for this corridor. So he's gonna take your comments. And then online, Selena is online to be able to take any comments online, and we'll go from there. So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Fazil.
Shipping, how many feet? You asked about.
I think we have one person online other than us, James. It's Rachel.
Okay,
Rachel, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So I'm sharing my screen that shows the statistics from Stirling Road and a map that I will place any comments or issues you have on there. So we really appreciate if you can give us any feedback or any concerns that you are facing, any safety concerns that you are facing on this corridor.
and Rachel is on our technical working group.
Correct.
She was at the Hollywood Taft Street meeting.
Mhm.
Can we move Rachel? Oh, there she is. Okay. So Selena, is Rachel now in a place where if she wanted to talk, she could just say it?
Yes, she can unmute. Rachel, if you want to say something, you can unmute yourself, or you can type in the Q&A box.
I'm unmuted now.
Yes. Hi.
So, I mean, this is my neck of the woods. This is where I live. So one of my concerns is just, it seems like there's a lot of people that are, in addition to having a pretty high traffic area and a long area of school zones, you've got a lot more transient people coming because of Dania Point, I think, right there. So it's just, there's a lot of people that are in this area, so it's very busy. And then you have people crossing mid-block on a pretty regular basis. So those would be some of my biggest concerns here on this corridor that you guys are talking about. You've just got people that are coming, navigating Hollywood that wouldn't necessarily come here because of Dania Point, which is a great little shopping plaza and did a great job there.
Yeah.
But it's very busy.
And are there certain locations where you're noticing people crossing, or is it just kind of all over?
I mean, I see them crossing all over, but I will say that it's very busy where people are crossing just, you know, mid-block, somewhere around, I would say just west of Aldi, right around where that 7-Eleven is. You see them there. And then also on the over to the other side of the tracks. And it's kind of hard for me to orient in this map, but how far west does this corridor run?
So
I mean, like, is it around Oakland Park? Is it around the Dania Point, Oakwood Plaza area? Is that where, oh, so it's Federal to,
this is the end point.
so I mean, exactly where you guys have it. So I see the end project is Federal, just, is it just east of Federal?
Yes.
Okay, and then J.A. Ely, so west of where so exactly the part that I'm talking about. So right around where
Well,
Aldi is.
and look to the top. So there's a match line. So the top part is from 95 to the east there. So it's kind of
So like, right, so you've got people right where that area is, where you either want to go south and go into Oakwood Plaza area where you'd have those shops, or you'd want to go north and you would go into Dania Point area. People are always crossing the road there. And then really around all these 7-Eleven and the tracks on both sides, you have a lot of people just crossing kind of wherever there.
Okay.
Okay. So you said you live nearby. Yes,
I
Rachel?
grew up, I live and work in Hollywood, and I grew up in the Dania Beach area.
Okay.
So this is a pretty familiar area for me.
Okay, so do you perhaps use this corridor at night?
I don't use it at night anymore, honestly. I'm more of like a go over there to, go towards the Dania Point area that I was mentioning, or to head into East Dania, and I do that during the day.
Okay.
But I will say that during the day, where you'd think it wouldn't be necessarily, you'd have more people maybe working and not using it, there's still people crossing.
Okay. So you didn't necessarily have any information about the lighting condition at night, for example.
Oh, I thought you're just, I can't, I mean, I can't speak too highly about the populations there. From what I remember, around the Dania Point, Oakwood Plaza area, it seems like there's really good lighting. I tend to be there more often for work functions, but then as you're heading east on Stirling, I mean, I think the light is adequate. I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, I'm not saying that it's like, very well lit, but I don't think that it's so dark that people can't see because of that.
Okay, I see. Okay, do you perhaps know why would these two intersections have the highest number of KSI crashes on the corridor?
Which two intersections? The two that I'm talking about?
This one, so it's the
The
Pippin.
Pippin Water, so that's right by there's a middle school right there.
Okay,
So when you, not right there off of Stirling, when you head off of Pippin Waters and you head south, there's Addicks Middle School there. And it takes you into an area called Liberia. So it's just a very densely populated area in Dania. So I think that it's a throughway, right? There's some roads that are not highways, but they end up being main corridors to get you. So this road, Pippin Waters, will connect you to Sheridan.
Mhm.
So I think there's just a lot of traffic there. People use it as a main throughway.
I see. And what about this one, the Federal Highway and Stirling?
Which one?
This
Oh,
one,
I mean, Federal Highway
the
that's
Federal.
definitely a main corridor for us here. That will connect, I mean, all the way down to, you can take Federal Highway down to Miami, and you can
Yeah.
take it up to, I'm pretty sure it will connect with some, maybe a little bobbing and weaving with some things now, but probably up into Palm Beach area. Like it goes through. I mean, I remember taking Federal Highway when I was in Boca.
Right. Mm.
That's interesting with the Fippins when Selena looking to see what kind of crashes those are and if there's school
There,
age kids or not.
we have one pedestrian.
So the
One.
other thing about Pippin, I mean, people, they just use it as a main transient road to get through. But it's all residential. So off of Pippin Waters, all those little side streets, and it's kind of hard to see from this angle, they all branch into more residential areas, except for the ones that are dead-ended because of the train tracks or the school.
Mhm. Okay.
Were you saying the denser residential is south of Stirling there?
Yes. I would say that it's most dense probably. So when you take Stirling and you go north, it's mostly, there's like a commercial area with some warehouses and shops and things. You've noticed that on the north side of Stirling.
Right.
And that's where the city hall is in Dania, and restaurants and things like that. I mean, more industrial than restaurants, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying there's some. But when you go south on Stirling, it's almost all residential. There are, right along the railroad tracks, you'll have some just some businesses, but it's mostly residential there.
Mhm. Let's look at the equity map.
You said the equity, it's a predominantly low income area.
Yeah. I see it here below
We receive,
poverty.
we get a lot of our trauma alerts from that area,
Oh, wow.
not all related to motor vehicle crashes though.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah, not all motor vehicle crashes.
Oh. Limited English proficiency is not too high compared to other corridors.
I think that they are mostly English speaking there.
Yeah. And so you said the school was here? Somewhere to the south
I
of
don't, I mean,
Stirling?
I was just saying, I don't know exactly from these pictures. I mean, I'm on my laptop right now, so it's a little bit smaller screen, but Addicks Middle is to the south of Stirling on, and I'm fairly certain it's off of Pippin Waters. I just had to navigate to get there. I'm pretty sure it's there though. It's a relatively large campus and there's no other school right there, but that's where a good chunk of people who live in Dania or Hollywood will go to middle school. The only two middle schools that I know of in that general area is either Addicks Middle or Olson Middle, which is east of US 1 and south. It's southeast of where we're looking at. So Addicks takes a big chunk of the people that are living in that area that are living west of 95. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And brings them into that area for school.
I do see 3 elementary schools as well, like not 2.
So Dania Elementary is east of US 1. It's east of 1 and a little bit south of where we're looking at right now. That's Dania Beach Elementary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking at my map too, so.
There's no hospitals nearby, correct?
The trauma center that I work at is on Johnson and 35th. So it is not that far.
Okay.
You can take either Dixie from that location there. You can take Dixie to Johnson and head west, or you can go from 95 to either Sheridan or Hollywood Boulevard and head just a little bit more west. There's not a hospital too far from here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm locating these schools. So Rachel, just so you know, when we started this, the original study area only went to, what was the street? It might have been to J. Ely. Do you call it Ely or Eli? Ely Boulevard?
I think it's Ely.
Ely, okay. So that was the original study area. And talking with the city, they asked that we extend it to Dania Point, that because that area has a lot of different activity going on.
I mean, and I got to give the city a lot of credit. Like when they decided that they were going to, when they tore down the boomers that was there when I was in high school, when they tore that down and they decided that they were going to build up and put Dania Point there, they started widening the roads first. Like they were anticipating the, if you build it, they will come type of scenario. And they did a great job, but it really has drawn in a lot of people. For instance, instead of us going to Fort Lauderdale now for a work meeting, we'll go to Dania Point because it's right by the hospital, So I think it's brought a lot of people who maybe historically went either down to Aventura or up to Las Olas area for working meetings or something, you now have a nice place to go local. So it's really
Okay.
brought in a lot more traffic.
Yeah.
And they chose some relatively high-end restaurants. Like they chose a combination of restaurants and they've put entertainment in there as well. Like it's not just it's not just restaurants, it's a bowling alley in there and a bunch of shops and restaurants. Like I mean, it's if you go there and improv, like there it's busy almost all the time.
Oh, there's improv. I didn't know there was. I remember when they proposed it, it seemed like a very visionary project, and I didn't know if they were going to be able to pull it off, and it looks like they have.
I didn't either, to be honest with you. I'm surprised at how well it's doing. But
Yeah,
it's right off of 95, you know? So like if you're and they've put, like I said, they've put a variety of restaurants and stores, so it's pretty appealing to everyone. I mean, you've got a Hobby Lobby and an Ulta, you know? It's all right there. And then they're also building a bunch of apartment buildings.
yeah, and there's
Really,
offices too, isn't Spirit
there's
Airlines
office
there?
space. They've got grocery stores there. Now there's the what is it? The Fresh No Sprouts is in that same plaza.
Oh, really?
You've got
Okay,
a Brand Smart in there. I mean, it's just there's a lot of reason people would come to go to
Mhm.
the Dania Point area.
Yeah. The Sprouts must be pretty new then. I don't know that I've seen that there.
It went in as soon as they branched off into that, because Dania Points was done in sections.
Uh-huh.
So you've got the main strip when you kind of pull in where you'll see like some of the nicer stores, like their Anthropologies and some of the fancier restaurants, you know? And then on the other side of that, I don't know the name of that street. On the other side of that, as you get over to the other side, the east part of that, that's where you have 2J's and a few more restaurants and Sprouts and Brandsmart are on that side. So they did it in
Okay.
sections.
Yeah.
It's a nice space though. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. And I don't know, there's not a lot of crashes that are showing up there, right? Selena, which is
Where
good.
did you?
Yeah, as you
You
go
would
further
crash and
west.
show it right there at the Dania Point area.
Well, not the KSIs.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't think so because you can't, I mean, honestly, you can't, right there, you
Yeah.
can't go very fast,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just east of 95. So you've already slowed down and you've gone, the equivalent of like a block, maybe two at max to get to where you're turning into that area. You have a combination of drivers and pedestrians. There's also some hotels in there. So there's people who are not from here
Yeah.
staying there. So they don't really know where they're going.
That would explain the walkers then maybe.
And then I also think that you've got people that maybe are interested in, there's not a lot of hotels on Dania Beach. So
Uh-huh.
so Hollywood Beach has a lot of hotels there, whereas Dania does not have a lot of hotels at the beach. So people are there
Right.
staying off of US 1. They're staying right by Dania Point because it's close to the airport.
Uh-huh.
Um, or like there, I think it's so you've got a combination of just people who are staying there who want to be close to the airport or who want to go to the beach and can't get closer to Dania Beach that way. I'm just my theory. Because there's a lot of walkers.
Okay. I was just trying to, my personal experience is if we're there and we're going to Oakwood, we're going to take the car because it's just, Oakwood has a totally different character.
Well, I mean, Oakwood's been around in that area forever, and I really think that Dania Point is putting a lot of the stores in Oakwood out of business. So they're going to
Yeah.
have to do something on the Oakwood side. So Oakwood doesn't have the same traffic that it used to. However, people take the road that is Oakwood Boulevard, and they'll take that straight from Stirling into the heart of Hollywood because it goes even beyond Sheridan, and they use that as a throughway now. They
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
have, but now you've got 2 lanes inside Oakwood, both directions that can take you straight through.
Yeah.
So it's become a vein of sorts.
When you see the people crossing there around Dania Point, are they crossing at the intersection or?
I
Or they
mean,
just-
some are crossing at the intersection, but a lot of people are just crossing.
Oh,
So they put some traffic, so when they built Dania Point, they did build in some, some traffic calming devices into it. So they've got a roundabout built in there. There's a few speed bumps in there. But when you're on the Stirling Road side, it's just you've got, pretty traditional light patterns. You've got right turn on red. If you're coming out of Dania Point and you're going back towards Stirling to head towards 95, you've got people that are turning left, but cars that are still coming through Oakwood Plaza. So there's 4 lanes of traffic, and it's lights and pedestrian signals and people that are biking coming up from the beach.
Yeah, there's a contrast. I was gonna mention, as you get up to Fort Lauderdale and Broward Boulevard, the first signalized intersection, just east of 95 has a lot of crashes there. And that's why it's kind of interesting.
Broward in 95?
Yeah, just you
Yeah.
get 18th
Well-
and 19th, and there's a school there and there's some other stuff. And so
There's a lot of stuff there, and then just the way that you exit the ramp at Broward to head east, it feels a little, there feels like there's some blind spots as a driver who's even grown up here, so I think that might be why there's some.
Mhm.
But Dania, there's clear visibility. Like you can see all 4 corners of both the south. You can see all of them. Like if you're looking south towards Stirling, but you're coming out of Dania Point, you can see everything. If you're looking, if you're looking east or what, there's clear visibility. I think people are just crossing to get to the store they want, and they don't always want to wait at the crosswalk.
Yeah.
For the walkers and why they're crossing.
And I wonder if some of that visibility, because Broward goes over 95 and Stirling goes under, so that probably affects some of the visibility.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can see everything very clearly, whereas I think there are blind spots in Broward.
Yeah.
And I think it is absolutely the bridge. I think you're right.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions, Selena?
No. Rachel, do you have any more comments you would like to share with us?
No, I actually didn't realize I had as many comments as you've put on this map. I was merely telling you as someone who's lived here and sees it, I'm actually a little bit surprised that there are that many crashes right at the Dania Point area, but they're mostly happening east, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But if there were a bunch of crashes at Dania Point, that would surprise me a little bit.
And there might be crashes, but they're not at that serious injury or death.
That intersection has very clear visibility. It really does. But you've got people that are crossing all over the place once you get to Aldi and 7-Eleven, which is right around where you guys are saying the most crashes are happening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Stirling is literally what's separating 2 residential neighborhoods for people that are probably visiting their friends as well,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of a pretty weird kind of 5-point turn-ish thing, for lack of other words, around the tracks.
Yes. Yeah. We've had notice of that. Took notice, I guess.
Just confusing for people that aren't paying attention, but it's always been there for as long as I've been driving, but.
Yeah, especially near the tracks, you don't want people confused and going to the wrong place.
Well, another thing too is, so that particular, that track, it tends to be, you've got freight that runs on that one and also Brightline that runs on that one.
Mhm.
Not that I'm just saying, it's not, you don't have tri-rail on that one, so it's.
Yeah.
Maybe people just don't want to wait for the freight train. Patience is a virtue, really.
So as Selena's typing up, yeah, we're getting these meetings are to get comment. You saw that in Hollywood. And then, just so you know, we're starting to have the meetings, because the first round of public meetings, we're starting to do some of the follow-up discussions about, what are some of the options for, countermeasures that we could consider. And so we're starting to have those discussions. But at this round of meetings, we want to just find out what are the concerns and
have you guys checked into the bus routes that are running on Stirling?
yes.
So are the crashes happening where the bus is letting them off as opposed to being near a safe crossing area? That's
So if you
my theory
can
on
see on
road
the map,
Stirling.
the blue square thing with the white,
Yeah, see?
the location of bus stops.
Yeah. I
So
didn't
it's-
notice that you said that.
Yeah, now
But
there's
that's-
some near
yeah.
FIP in there.
Next time, you know, that's the before, like, every time I-
Just a thought, because I really, I mean, there's a lot of people that are probably taking transit there
Yeah.
because it's a low income area, so they don't have their own vehicles.
So one of the things that we've looked at there also is where are the locations of bus stops in relation to signalized crossings? So if you look at J. Ely, there's a bus stop and it's near a signalized intersection, but there still are a few crashes there. The one near Fippen, it's a little further away. So, and I know because I do this myself, I'm not always going to walk over to the signalized intersection to cross.
Is Fippen where Aldi is? Like I don't know the names of all these, despite being up here, I don't know the names of all these streets, like
Let me get the street
exactly
name.
what's there. You know what I mean? Like I just drive there.
Yeah, let me get the street name for Aldi.
Because I'm telling you, like they cross all the time there.
Aldi looks to be, so you see where the bus stop is? They're just west of Fippen. That's where the Aldi is,
Yeah.
that big
So
square.
that's
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me at all. That's exactly what I thought it was.
Okay. And that's where there are some crashes going on. I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Well, Selena, if you they have my email. If you think of something else as you're looking at this and you're like just want clarification, feel free to call or email me and I'm happy to chat with you some more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This was very helpful.
Happy to help.
All right, thanks. We'll see you soon, I guess.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.